Hello, my name is David Linhart from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and this tip is, I guess, sort of about asking the question, is God really listening? And I like that this is called an experiment, a faith experiment, because it's something you can try out and look for feedback and see what it's like to really put your heart on the line, want something, and bring that to God and see what happens with it. And so this story is a little bit actually, talking about my family. This is my wife can tell the story as well as I can. But she, in a previous 40 days, she knew that one of the stories that came out of 40 days was someone asked for a debt to be erased, and it was. And we have a lot of debt between both of us, a lot of student debt. And so she was like, all right, that's for me. I want my debt to be erased. And that's a big deal. I almost kind of felt like, okay, have a backup, because then at least you could feel like, God's meeting you. So it tells you something about how big a request I thought it was to see something on that. And but she went ahead. She said, that's what I want to ask for, and she put her heart into it, and she took that risk to really want that. And coming out of the 40 days, we didn't see anything happen so much. And so you just kind of chalk it up, and I mean, we're in this for the long haul, but that was an experiment. And so then going forward, she goes back to school. She's back in school now. She's working on a master's in social work, and in going back into school, basically we took on more debt. It was like the opposite, and quite a big chunk actually got added on, and she got some scholarships, and that helped, but moving forward into the semester a bit, out of nowhere, she got a call on her cell phone. A professor that had found her personal contact through admissions and wanted particularly to get in touch with my wife to ask her to be part of a grant research project this professor was working on. And being part of that grant, so she heard more about it. It was something that was in line with what she was studying, what she was interested to do. And it turns out that it would count as sort of a work study where it would pay entirely for her tuition. And then she mentioned, well, I already have this semester paid for because I took out loans. Oh, no, that's no problem. We're gonna pay back those loans. And we're thinking like, hey, that sounds like debt getting erased. And and in some sense, it's kind of okay. We still have a lot of debt, but that was really meaningful for us, and it made me think in terms of, is God listening? Does God hear when we put our heart out there like this? And I think, just to me, it felt something like God saying, well, there's a lot involved. When you ask me for something, there's a lot that needs to come together for things to come together. And I go to work, and it's kind of, it's like if you asked for reconciliation with a person, then that person's involved in that reconciliation. So you ask God, but God's got to go to work, and where that person's heart matters a lot. There's a lot of things to come together. So we asked for our debt to be erased. There's so much coming together, but I felt that God heard us and said, I'm going to give you this experience, so that I hear you. That what a crazy thing it was, a roller coaster to want our debt to be erased, take on more debt, and then see that debt disappear from a random phone call out of the blue. And it was even something where the professor said, well, this is a 5-year grant. You can stay in school, and it'll be paid for 5 years. And then my wife's saying, I'm in a 2-year program. And then the professor says, oh, well, then you might as well just stay in school, do something else, do a master's, do a PhD, do what you need to do, because you have 5 years for free. So it was just something that for us, it really touched our heart. We felt listened to. We felt like God was saying, look, I'm working for you. I heard what you asked me for, and let me demonstrate that with with this gesture. It wasn't one of the small. It was a big deal for us. So we were very encouraged by that, and I think that God meets us where we're at. So that might not be as meaningful to someone else, but then God has a way that He hears the requests we give to Him, and He meets us in a way that really touches our heart, that we know that God's listening, He's working for us. And the best thing that came out of it was not getting debt erased, but that experience of God listening to us, working for us, and that we felt God very present in our lives. And that lasts. We were writing that out for a while, and to have those experiences makes 40 days